6, 5, 4.
On tonight's edition of The Overtime, baseball season is in full swing. We are going to take a look at both Flagstaff and Coconino seasons so far. Softball has started, and the Flagstaff Eagles and Coconino Panthers are looking to start the season strong. NAU women's basketball season has concluded in the first round of the Big Sky Conference tournament, but not without a fight. NAU men's basketball took an early exit out of the Big Sky Conference tournament. All this and more coming up next on The Overtime. Thank you for joining us tonight, and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Cheyanne Mumphrey. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action, and joining me is sports reporter Sam Oshins.
Thanks, Cheyanne. It's great to be here. I'm really excited to talk about the start of the new baseball season. Shall we get started?
Yeah, let's jump right into it and hit off with our first topic of the night, high school baseball. Flagstaff took on Coconino in their second section matchup this season after losing to Thunderbird 8-5 last week. The Coconino Panthers came out on top in their home opener after dominating most of the game. Sam, what can we expect from these two teams this season?
The Panthers and the Eagles were neck and neck heading into the third inning of this game, but the Panthers would capitalize on some errors in the bottom of the third, and that would be all Coconino needed to beat the Eagles. The Flagstaff Eagles are looking to improve from last season. So far, the Eagles have not seen the results as they have already lost 2 sectional games. The key for the Eagles this season is going to be the consistency from their pitching staff. As for Coconino, the Panthers need to continue exactly what they're doing. Their offense is doing its job, and their ace, Jake Reed, pitched into the 6th inning against Flagstaff.
Yeah, based off of their performance in this game and building off their strong season last year, Coconino is set to have another successful year. The Panthers have now won 4 out of their last 5 meetings against the Eagles. With junior Jake Reed throwing a killer curveball and the team capitalizing on their runs, Coconino is set to do well. Across town, Flagstaff is off to a rough start as some of their younger players adjust to the varsity level. There are high expectations for the Eagles and to continue and grow and improve. The Eagles can prove to be a threat. Now moving on to our next topic of the night, girls softball. The Flagstaff softball team is 2-4 so far on the season. On the other side of town, Coconino is coming off a great win against Dobson, beating them 10-2. They will be competing in the St. George tournament with 3 back-to-back-to-back games today. The Panthers are a very young team, and there are high expectations with standout junior Rachel Tosi on the mound. Sam, of the two, who will have a better season, Coconino or Flagstaff?
Flagstaff and Coconino softball teams are both off to a slow start. The Eagles are 2-4 and the Panthers are 1-4. Despite their record, the Panthers have shown that they have talent. In their only win of the season, they beat Dobson 10-2, and Rachel Tosi led the Panthers at the dish and on the mound. She went 3 for 3 at the plate and pitched 7 innings, striking out 7, giving up just 2 runs. The Eagles have shown signs of life as well, but pitching has been an issue. The Eagles have allowed 6 or more runs 3 times this season. So if the Eagles want to be successful, they have to find a way to limit opposing offenses. I think that the Panthers will be the better of the two teams simply because of the outstanding leadership and skill of Rachel Tosi.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. It is easy to look at these two teams and expect a lot. Flagstaff has experience and Coconino has talent. The Eagles just need to capitalize on their strong offensive performances. I agree that of the two, the Panthers are going to have a better season simply because Rachel Tosi is a difference maker and is capable of carrying the team. She proved it last season, and I expect nothing less for her to continue that role. Now moving on to NAU basketball. Women's basketball season came to an end in Reno, Nevada. The Jacks took on the 5th seed Montana Grizzlies in the Big Sky Conference tournament. On the surface, the Lumberjacks have had a rough season with a 6-24 record, but they were able to build on a solid foundation for next season with freshman Alyssa Rader as their primary scorer. What are the Jacks looking to do coming out of this season and looking forward, Sam?
The Lady Jacks are now able to put this season behind them and look ahead to next season. This season, NAU was led by freshman Alyssa Rader, and in their final game, that was no different. The Lady Jacks faced long odds in their first Big Sky Conference tournament game as they were matched up against defending champs Montana. However, the Jacks played hard and Rader put up 18 points and 7 rebounds, which led the team. As I mentioned, Rader is only a freshman, which means she has time to improve, and this team has a proven leader for 3 more seasons. NAU can only improve, and I expect the presence of Alyssa Rader and veteran coaching experience of Sue Darling to propel this team into the future.
The Lady Lumberjacks definitely have confidence, and pair that with their young talents Alyssa Rader and Kayla Paplow and returning stars Renee Coggins and Taylor Leyva, the Jacks are going to be a force to be reckoned with. There are hopes to see the Lumberjacks successful next season, and 2016 might be their year. Now let's move on to our final topic of the night, but sticking with basketball, with only 5 wins on the season, the NAU basketball team has had a tough season. Sam, how did the Jacks do this season?
Let's be honest, NAU men's basketball has seen better days, and they have been looking to start next season since this one started. The Jacks just couldn't get anything going this season, and I think their problems began with the injury to senior forward Jordan Martin, who was the 2014 Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year. However, Coach Jack Murphy did a good job of working in the team's young talent into the rotation. The Jacks began the Big Sky tournament on Tuesday against Eastern Washington, and heading into the game, junior Aku Kaluna looked to continue his hot streak. Kaluna has had 3 double-doubles in the last 4 games. As for that game against Eastern Washington, NAU lost 22 by 22, and Kaluna missed his 4th double-double in 5 games.
Yeah, Sam, the Jacks are a young team, and Martin's injury definitely didn't help much. Going into the Big Sky Conference tournament, the Jacks were ready to compete, but with a sudden decision to not take Chris Yanku, the Jacks were going to need a push offensively. The men really struggled to put off those close victories this season. There were a number of games the Jacks came close to winning, and it came down to the final minutes of the game. Coming up after the break, Anthony Rosales caught up with the NAU golf team in Sedona. Don't go anywhere.